It's the start of a new week, and West Ham are playing, which is always a nice way to kick things off. Well, we haven't seen the result yet, so we'll wait and see. But I'm looking forward to tonight. Actually, it's nice to have a bit of excitement, things to play for. And I know it doesn't, these aren't the things we were playing for that we were hoping for, i.e., European football and all that kind of stuff. But the chance of finishing above Spurs, Man United this season, it does add a little bit of something to it, doesn't it? And it'd be really good to finish the season on a high, especially ahead of a busy summer. And also there are other results, and they've gone our way this weekend with Everton only drawing, same for Spurs, same for Manchester United. It has provided us an opportunity to leapfrog those three teams. So 3 points tonight would be massive for West Ham, but it's going to be no doubt a very tough encounter against Newcastle. Also, I want to say, before I get into the video, I want to talk about a couple of things. Thank you so much for your birthday messages yesterday. Really kind. I celebrated my 40th yesterday with family, which was great. It was lovely as well, wasn't it? Having a weekend of just sort of sitting back and watching a bit of football as well with no pressure. It's just, just to simply enjoy it. Makes a bit of a change for a West Ham fan. So, I enjoyed that. And also support on the previous video I did regarding the wall. Again, thank you so much for the feedback and the support and all that kind of stuff. I'll keep you informed with that in terms of the letter, as I've said, and that'll be done very soon. So I'll get that up on here and also on Twitter before it gets sent over to Karen Brady. Well, I want to talk about tonight's game and Even Ferguson in particular, and also Niclas Fullkrug. So the early suggest, by the way, just a disclaimer, this isn't some kind of like insider knowledge or fact. I'm just saying this is the kind of early suggestion is it's likely to be an unchanged team. So let's just go with the notion that's the case. It may not be, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if Potter had said, no, I'm going to keep the same team that's just won 2 games back to back. So it does make sense. But what it does mean is that Even Ferguson would be starting on the bench again. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to keep protecting Even Ferguson. It's no good to us. I think there's a couple of factors for that as well. One being the obvious that if we are going to go and sign Even Ferguson in the summer or be interested to sign him, then we've got to see him playing. We can't keep seeing like cameos between now and the end of the season, then go, right, West Ham are going to go and try and get a deal done with Brighton, which is going to be, as we've already talked about previously, Brighton are looking for like around 60 million quid for him. It's just ridiculous. He's got to be playing football. And there's no suggestion that he's unfit now. He's played for us already. He played half, didn't he, against Brentford a couple of weeks ago. He's been training. There's been no injuries. I don't really know what we're protecting him from, and I don't see how it's benefiting West Ham at all, especially if we are going to be interested in the summer. I don't want us to be really at this stage, and I'd rather it be a conversation. I'd rather us be in a situation where we've seen Ferguson enough to go, do you know what? Something there, maybe we should go in for him. That should be a debate. But at the moment, there is no debate. If you ask any West Ham fan, I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, what you think of Evan Ferguson, should West Ham go and sign him in the summer? You can't really come back with any real sort of passion about it because we haven't seen him play. You can't go, I'd love to see Ferguson at West Ham. It's like, well, we haven't really seen anything. It's hard to have that kind of view or opinion on him at the moment, and I'm getting a little bit fed up with it. I don't want us to keep protecting a Brighton player that we brought in here for one reason, that's to spearhead our team, to be the main man up front, and to get us the goals we need to finish the season strongly, and then have that conversation afterwards about whether he's worth that kind of money, because certainly at the moment he's not. There's also the other factor, which is Niclas Fullkrug. So Niclas Fullkrug has been quite prominent recently in West Ham media. If you go on the official website, he's all in the pictures, he's all in the videos. He's fit and available. That's what they're trying to say. Niclas Fullkrug now is fit. The suggestions are that tonight he will possibly be available from the bench. Again, this is speculation. It isn't fact. I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but let's suggest that he is now. All I can definitely is for fact that he is now close to returning to playing for West Ham. I don't want to see him playing for West Ham again. And I don't mean that to be nasty, but Niclas Fullkrug doesn't want to be at West Ham, okay? It's been very clear, and from what we've known from reports and things, he's not happy and wants to move back to Germany in the summer. I've got no real problem with that, right? But what I do have a problem with is West Ham playing him then getting injured, and then we can't sell him. That's what just happened in January. In the lead up to the January transfer window, I kept saying, stop playing Füllkrug now. keep him off the pitch. If you're only going to play him for 5 minutes and bits. Don't play him like we've been doing with Ferguson, little cameos. That's I can kind of understand that with a little bit of risk, but don't have him as the main striker if you're looking to sell him. I understand the reason for wanting to do that because you want to get his stock up. So if you can get a couple of goals, you can get more money in for him. But the fact is, he's a really injury-prone player. We've already had 2 big injuries for him already. He's only been here since the summer. We're only in beginning of March. So I don't want us to keep playing him. If we're going to sell him in the summer, which I really hope we are, because I don't want to keep a player at West Ham that's not happy here, then regardless of him being fit and available, just have him on the bench as a backup. Ferguson should be our number 1 striker playing every game between now and the end of the season. Because if Ferguson breaks down, it doesn't matter. It really, honestly, it does not matter to West Ham at all, other than, it's a shame because we'd have liked him in the squad between now and the end of the season. But it doesn't matter. We just send him back to Brighton and go, yeah, he's broken. Don't worry about it. So I really don't want us to keep protecting him. We're protecting the wrong player here. We're protecting Ferguson and happy to put Füllkrug in and get him back out there playing. I don't see the benefit of that. Because I don't see Füllkrug staying at all. And at the moment, Ferguson is purely just going to be alone and he's going to go back and he's unlikely to be signed. That's how things are standing at the moment. I don't see neither player being here next season. And the fact is, Ferguson's not our player. He's a Brighton player. Let's just get him on the pitch and get him playing and get us the goals that we need to get finished as high as we can at the table and then move him on. And as I say, if let's just say in the last 10 games of the season, whatever it is, after this game tonight, it's 11 as we've got left, isn't it, including tonight. If he goes on, Ferguson, to score 5-6 goals between now and the end of the season and West Ham finish 11th and we're thinking bloody happy days, he's been brilliant, then we can have that conversation. Then you can have the debate of, is he worth it? And then it would certainly create an interesting dilemma for the club and whether we go ahead and try and push to sign him. Because at the moment, we can't do that. We're not in any position to be saying that we're going to sign Even Ferguson because we don't bloody see him play. And at the moment, all we're seeing is West Ham protecting a player that's not ours. But we're willing to get out there and flog a striker that we know is injury prone. And really, we want to be selling this summer. Because let's get it right. As much as Füllkrug's signing has been a bit of a disaster, let's be honest, it's a key factor why Tim Steidten's not here. He's still a good player and he's still highly regarded in Germany. So we could get, if not all of it, the vast majority of our money back for him, and then we can just draw a line under it, and then reinvest in the summer on another striker that will fit more the mould of what we want in terms of Graham Potter and Cole McCauley and stuff. It's just the feeling. And the reason that's the reason I'm doing for this video, obviously wanting to talk about tonight's game, but the fact that I'm hearing that Ferguson's going to be on the bench again and he might make an appearance. I don't. What's the point then? We've done this loan. It's no point. And I'm getting concerned that the club now are leaning more on, well, we've got Füllkrug available. We don't really need Ferguson. We can get Füllkrug involved. That's the last thing we bloody want. You don't want Füllkrug falling injured again between now and the end of the season. And then we've got a flipping crock of a striker who's having to be sent off around the world for treatment during the summer when we could have sold him. Because that's just what's happened. We could have done that. We could have sold him in January. We knew that there were teams interested in Füllkrug. Juventus were keen on him in January, and we could have moved him on, but we couldn't because of his bloody injury. So anyway, that's me sort of moan up about Ferguson and Füllkrug. I'm getting a little bit worried about this Ferguson situation. It's starting to feel like a little bit of a pointless one, isn't it, this loan? Because if we're just going to keep protecting a Brighton player and he's just going to come on occasionally, it's almost like, well, what was the point? I'd rather see West Ham go out there and just say, go on, smash it. And if he breaks down, he breaks down. The only detriment to West Ham would be is that we've lost out on having that player available between now and the end of the season. That's it. That would be the only knock to us. It'd be far more of a problem for Brighton. And then, of course, you've got to added the factor in for Brighton. What are Brighton thinking about this? Brighton must be thinking, well, we've sent him to West Ham to go and get some Premier League football, to get his fitness up and get his sharpness up ahead of the summer. They must be thinking he's barely kicking a ball, not doing anything. It just feels like we're not utilising the situation very well. I really hope, I really want to see that change. So, as I say, this is more on the basis that I've heard just loosely that it's likely to be a similar lineup, if not the same, that we saw against Arsenal and Leicester, which wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying that's a terrible thing, but the last thing, as I say, I want is to see West Ham then promoting Füllkrug above Ferguson, saying, "Well, actually, we want to get Füllkrug out and we'll have Ferguson on the bench." No, 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 no. The other way round, please. I want to see Ferguson out there. Also, I really want to see Ferguson playing. Do you know what I mean? He's supposed to be this great player. We saw him burst in the scene against for Brighton. He looked outstanding, and he's been a really good, clearly a massive talent. So let's get him out there and let's see what he's about. Because if we are going to have this conversation about Ferguson, we need to have something to talk about. At the moment, we've got nothing. Anyway, I hope you're looking forward to tonight. I certainly bloody am. As I said, I've gone for a 1-0 prediction win. I think it's going to be tight. It's going to be our game. There's no two ways about it. I know that Newcastle have got their focus on Sunday. They've got their cup final, and rightly so. But I still think that this is a big game for them. They're no mugs. They'll know that they want Champions League football next season. They know that they're well in that race. So I think it's going to be a very tough encounter. But yeah, certainly one I'm looking forward to, and hopefully see a bit more of bloody Even Ferguson. Go on your irons.